Hello guys and welcome back to the Mighty Alien 101 TV. Today I am here in War Thunder and I'm going to tell you about the German tank tech tree. Now the tanks are a relatively new part of the game. It's still in beta for the ground forces part, and the Germans, you start off with the Panzer II-C. Yeah, it's really bad. Seriously, don't even try and make it sound good. Yeah. Well, the Panzer II-C, it's got bad penetration, kind of good armor, not really. Good fire rate is about the only good thing about this. Low mass. Yeah, high top speed. Other than that, this thing absolutely sucks. So when you're starting off with the Germans, this is obviously the first tank you're going to play. But it absolutely sucks. Don't stick with it. As soon as you have enough XP to get out of this, instantly get the Panzer IV-C. The Panzer IV-C is the beast of German tier 1 tanks. I cannot describe how good this tank is. Let's get this up. I can't remember what slide. I think it's in this slot. Here we go. This bad boy is an absolute beast. So when you're looking at his stats, you think, oh, but Sam, this sucks. Only 30mm of armor, only 43 pen. This thing fires heat ammunition. Heat. That has 80mm of penetration. At tier 1. Yeah. So as soon as you get this tank, you are going to be like, oh my god, the Germans are amazing, and you're going to completely forget about how bad the Panzer II-C was. So then, once you've got that, you're either going to want to research the Stug 3A, depending on your playstyle, or the Panzerkampfwagen 3 aus E German. Because this is the heavy. I suppose it's technically the heavy tank line, although it starts off with the lesser well-known medium tanks. I would say, as the Panzer IVs are generally associated with Germany, and for the right reason, I suppose, because they are beasts. But the Panzer IIIs are a really good starting point as well. Once you've got the Panzer IV, because the Panzer IV is just borderline OP. I would say with the heat ammunition. Then I'd probably get a Stug 3A if you're going in this order, because the Stug 3A is, I think it's got the same gun as the IV-C. It also fires heat. Let's have a look at this modifications. Yep, also fires heat, 80mm of penetration, and can also get higher penetration heat rounds of 100mm penetration. I haven't even unlocked that, and that I still class that as a good tank. And then that leads on to the tank destroyer line as well, where you can eventually get to the Jagdtiger. So, once you've got these, unless you're going to play historical battles, this is not necessary. You do not need self-propelled anti-aircraft. That is just completely unnecessary unless you're going to play a lot of realistic battles. So, once you've got your Panzer IV-C, your Panzerkampfwagen 3 aus E, your Stug 3A, see that? Pile of rubbishness. You're probably just going to want to get a 38T just to be able to get to tier 2. Quite honestly, I don't really like the 38T. I know quite a few people do, because the gun is quite good, but it's not my favourite. It seems to get one-shotted quite easily, and the armour's just really, really thin. So, it's not my favourite of tanks, but that leads on to the Jagdtiger 38T, also known as the Hetzer. And if you play World of Tanks, many of you will know the Hetzer is an absolute beast. So, you're going to want that. I instantly went for that. I was like, take my money, and bought that. So, once you've gained access to tier 2 by having 6 tier 1s, you're going to want to probably go for the Stug 3F, I would say, to get yourself into tier 2. Stug 3F has got an exceptionally good gun. If we look at the modifications here, so with it also has heat, 80mm of penetration, standard like the previous tank, but it also fires APCR, which if you play World of Tanks, you would obviously know as premium rounds. But these fire 150mm of penetration with each shot, and it's quite expensive, but you're really not going to be firing that much. So I would say get this tank, but I wouldn't even fire the premium ammunition. The standard rounds have 110mm of penetration, which is good enough to get through any sort of armour at tier 2. So I would use this. I would get the Stug 3F for tier 2, and then I'd get the Panzerkampfwagen 3 Aufs L, because this is a good all-round tank, good penetration. It's got better armour. I'm not going to say good armour because it's not the best of armoured tanks, but it's a good starting point with the fast-firing, high-penetration gun. But now, once you've got these two tanks, I would say invest in the Panzer IV F1. I did not like this tank at all, but I wanted it to get to the rest. As you can see here, I haven't even unlocked parts yet, but I think it's awful. It is just... Oh, okay, I didn't see that last time. Well, I suppose if you can play it long enough to get the 100mm heat shells, then be my guest. It was probably an amazing tank if it's like that. But then you get the Panzer IV F2. This, I cannot stress enough, is probably the best tier 2 in the game. This has the 75mm KWK-40 L43 cannon, 75mm gun. And I'll be showing you some gameplay of that in a minute. But this is the beast. I wouldn't really say it's a glass cannon, but it's close to it. It's got pretty thin armour, only 50mm, an amazing gun, but it's still really fast, which means you could reposition yourself on the battlefield after firing. Quite a low reload time for the gun, only 6.8 seconds, and that is with... Let's have a look at my crew modifications. That is with level 20 weapon reloading and with basic, basic crew training. So really, about 7-second reload standard on this, with a few upgrades. Overall, I absolutely love this tank. It's probably my favourite tank in the game because it's just so fast. It's got a nice firing gun, and I would say it's balanced because of the armour. So overall, you're going to want to get this for tier 2. This is amazing. So next up, actually, we forgot 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I suppose you're gonna have to unlock everything. So you're gonna have to get this self-propelled AA. Just be able to get this self-propelled AA, even if you're not going to use it. And also, you're gonna have to get the 38T because it's necessary to get to the next tier. Then you get to tier 3, and this is, in my opinion, where the real fun begins. You get the Jagdpanzer IV. The Jagdpanzer IV. What else can be said? This thing is amazing. I absolutely love this tank. Panzer IV-G. I only unlocked this a couple of days ago. I absolutely love this tank. It's basically a Panzer IV F2, but tier 3, lower reload, and yeah, overall, a slightly better tank. Actually, it's got a slightly longer reload, but I don't have the basic training for that yet, so I'm not exactly sure. I think it may... actually, I don't know what I'm talking about here, but it may have better ammunition. I have no idea. Let's have a look, actually. Modifications. No, exactly the same gun. To all respects, the same tank, but I would probably say better engine, probably better traction, maybe. The smaller stats is what this tank's all about, but the main reason people get this is to be able to get onto the Panthers, which is a real main attraction of the German tech tree. So after you've got the Jagdpanzer IV and the Panzer IV-G, I would recommend going for the Panzerkampfwagen 3 Aufs M. This is a lovely little tank, really fast firing, high penetration. So it's very similar to the Panzer III's, the earlier models. Fast firing, high penetration. Overall, a pretty nice tank to have. Not the best of armour, but it's fast firing, good penetration. What else do you want? Then I'd get the Jagdtiger. Wow, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves there. The Jagdpanzer 38T, aka the Hetzer, because it's just the Hetzer. Everybody wants a Hetzer. And I made the mistake of going. This is the Tiger was the first heavy tank I got in this game. I saw it and was like, oh my god, I love the Tiger. Let's rush to it. So that's the first. I literally got the Panzer III Alfs M and then the Tiger instantly before I got any other tier 3s, and it's good, but at the time I didn't know how to play heavy tanks. I thought they were like in model tanks, supposed to absorb all the damage. They're supposed to just basically be the tanks of tank warfare, but it really isn't like that. It's a really good sniper actually, because the gun velocity is really fast, high penetration. You can even get heat on it, 100mm of pen. Very good to taking out crew. So yeah, you want to play this as a sniper role more, but I suppose it's good if you're against low tier tanks because they won't be able to get through the armour. But if you're going up against one of these, if I quickly show you here, if you're going up against one of these and you don't really know where to shoot it, oh, I've got this custom skin by the way, I'll put the link to this in the description. You're going to want to shoot it here and here. These are the weakest points, I think. It might just be this side, I'm not sure. If you shoot them here, you can take out their gunner and their loader, or at least injure them. This side, you can definitely get out their gunner and or their commander, depending on how far it gets through. I can give you the basic layout because I know this from knowledge. Driver here, so driver, radio operator / machine gunner, loader, gunner, commander. So that's where you want to be shooting. So on the side, I'm not sure if side angles work that well, but you're going to be wanting to shoot through here. Maybe try your luck here if you want to take out the driver and or the radio operator. Side of the turret, you're going to want to whack it right here. This I've found is quite good for taking out the gunner and the loader, and taking out the commander. Either just aim for the cupola or just straight through the tracks. The tracks on the side of the turret. Kill the driver! But that's where you want to shoot on this tank. So that's for the Panzerkampfwagen 6 Tiger. Next, I know that's all I can really talk about. Next, I'm gonna get the Panzer IV H because that has less research cost, and then I'm gonna get the Panzer IV 70V, which I don't really know much about, but I think it's basically just a better version of the Jagdpanzer IV. And past that, then I'm going to get the Panther, and then I'm going to go down the heavy tank line a bit more because I absolutely love the Tigers. So that's all I can really say about with the German tech tree right now. So even though it's got a really awful start, stick through it to the end because you'll be really satisfied with the later tanks such as the Panzer IV F2 and the Tiger. Hope this has been helping you guys. I'm the Mighty Alien 101 TV. Thanks for watching. Like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys next time.